Roll call?
Bontrager,
Here.
Nichols,
Here.
Hutchinson,
Here.
Alt, Brown.
Here.
Okay, next is approval agenda from July, for this month. Get any deletion or correction or you want, if not, do we get a motion?
I move we approve the minutes.
A second?
Second.
And just for clarification, Brown, that's the agenda that you're approving?
Yeah,
Yep.
gotta have my cheat sheet.
Alt, Hutchinson,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Bontrager.
Yes.
Okay, let's see, we're going next to the approval of the March 20th meetings. Any additions or corrections or whatever? If not, do we get a motion?
I'll move that we accept them.
Support.
Okay,
Hutchinson,
Yes.
Nichols,
yes.
Alt, Bontrager,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Okay, public comments. Guess we don't have any. Your job.
Yes. All right, so in front of you is a application from 636 Holly Road. A little overview of the property located at 636 Holly Road. This is a single-family dwelling located within our R1 zoned district. The lot size is approximately 14,000 square feet with 100 feet of lot frontage. Pictured here is the aerial. The property is located in that blue color there. The variance that is being sought is a rear yard setback variance of 21 feet. The applicant wishes to construct a 29 by 25 addition to the existing garage, which would result in a setback of approximately 14 feet. The applicant is proposing to transform the existing garage into living space and then attach an additional garage. I'd like to remind the board to keep in mind that this is located on the lakeshore. Therefore, the lakeside yard is considered the front yard and the street side yard is considered the rear yard. So this would technically be a rear yard setback. It's a little confusing due to the lake. So surrounding area setbacks. Most of the homes within the area have a setback less than the 35 feet, which is the requirement. 640 Holly Road, which would be the neighboring property directly to the west, has a setback of approximately 20 feet. The neighbor directly to the east, which would be 632, has approximately 32-foot setback. About 5 houses to the west is 656 Holly Road, and their setback is about 11 feet. 616, which is pictured here on this aerial, is about 5 houses to the east, and their setback is 15 feet. Pictured here is an updated site plan that the applicant worked with our engineering department on for the simple fact of the wish to create the circular drive. That is something that our engineer approves. The site plan that was submitted by the applicant showed the driveway being only 10 feet wide. That doesn't meet our requirements. Pictured here is an updated site plan with the correct width of the driveway. You'll also notice that the applicant currently has a shed located on the east side of the property. That shed would need to be relocated due to the addition. We have a requirement that accessory dwelling units must be 10 feet away from the primary residence. Therefore, it's relocated to the west side of the property, which meets all setback requirements and building requirements. So now we're going to review the standards of section 46-69, number 4. This addition is not anticipated to significantly impair light or air, nor create any street congestion. This isn't designed to create any excess traffic. Fire and public safety. This addition does not endanger public safety nor increase the danger for fire to the surrounding properties. This addition will actually probably add value to the parcel, thereby a positive benefit to the value of the neighborhood. For public health, safety, and welfare, obviously the applicant must abide by all fire and building codes, and this design that the applicant is proposing is consistent with the neighboring properties. As the board has in the packet, the applicant submitted letters of support from the two neighbors directly east and west. And there also was a public comment submitted by Mike Coy, and that is included in the packet as well. Additional information that I'm sure the board is aware of, but I just wanted to remind them to keep in mind that placement of residential additions in the front yard, which would be the lakeside yard, is not permitted because we want to make sure that we maintain views for all neighboring properties of the lake. This means that the street side yard functions as the rear yard where the accessory buildings are permitted. So he could actually detach the proposed addition and put it 3 feet from the property line and potentially enlarge the proposed garage. So if it was detached, this could create a negative impact to the neighborhood. You'd have a structure located 3 feet from the property line, potentially larger, and it would not be consistent with the homes in the area. For the request, there could be some consideration of conditions. The applicant notes that the existing fence that's on Holly Road, that he's going to remove that. The board may wish to consider this removal a condition as part of your variance approval. So the next step would be the board can ask any questions of staff. We would then ask that you open the floor up for the applicant to present. Then the chair would open the public hearing, public comment would take place, close the public hearing, and then the ZBA can act on the facts. This would be the request, would be to authorize the construction of a 29 by 20 foot addition to the existing garage attached to the dwelling at 636 Holly Road per the applicant's site plan, resulting in a rear yard street side setback of 21 feet. And then you would list conditions if you wanted to list the fence or any other conditions that the board sees fit. Any questions for staff?
Anybody got any questions?
Yeah, you only listed like a few of the setbacks. Why didn't you go with all of them? Like when you said 5 buildings to the east, why didn't you do all of them so we can kind of see what the average is?
Yeah, so I did put in the site plan, let's see. I think that was called out in the staff report. Let's see. So I guess if we wanted to take the average of the 20, the 32, the 11, and the 15, we could certainly.
Well, no, I didn't want to do that because that's just picking and that's cherry picking. I would just do you said it's between 11 and 35 and take the average of those two numbers. I just didn't know why we didn't have more of the setbacks going around there to kind of know if there's like another 6 properties that only have a 15-foot setback, or if most of them are 20 feet and more, and these are just a couple that have the.
Yeah, so as a whole on Holly Road, I would say the majority of the properties have setbacks which are less than 35 feet, which I had noted in the presentation.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I could pull up the Wexford County
No, I
GIS,
was just
but I don't have
just
GIS.
curious because that would have
Yeah.
been helpful to know what the true average, because otherwise the average is like 23 feet.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I didn't know if.
And the reason why I picked 616 in particular was just because the layout of 616 currently is kind of how the layout that the applicant is. It's similar layout of what the applicant
It's going to
is
look
going.
about the same.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was why I picked the 616.
Okay.
But yeah, so then the two neighbors directly east and west were 20 and 32.
Okay.
Any more?
Excuse me, I have a question also. The letter from Mike Coy, I think, was the late edition, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I did send out the updated packet.
Right. I hadn't had a chance to review
Oh, I
the letter
apologize
from
for
Mike
that.
Coy, so
Yeah.
Could you elaborate a little bit on what his concerns are? It's not quite clear to me.
Yes. So one of the concerns would have been that the driveway has to be approved by the city engineer. We always work hand in hand. I would never want to send something to the ZBA without everyone kind of looking at it to make sure that the outcome can be achievable. We did that. The city engineer has granted the stamp of approval on this site plan pending that the addition is granted.
So that addresses one of Mike's concerns there, huh?
Yep, and then let's see his other one for new homes. Both the new homes do. Yes, so I think too, what has been kind of addressed in the past is that from the home to the street was about 40 feet of setback consistent. This one would be about 35 feet. What else do we? So that would be for 640 and 648. I don't know that I called those out in my staff report, those specific properties. So I'm unsure what the true setbacks are for the 640 and 648.
640 is 20 feet. You have that in the report.
So that would be the direct neighbor, so for Dan Minor. So that one is 20. The applicant's proposing 14.
Hey, Danielle, can I
Yeah,
chime in?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just wanted to kind of remind the board that we aren't really concerned about what other properties have or have not done. We're only concerned with this specific property and whether this property has practical difficulties that justify this. So, maybe different property has received a variance in the past. That doesn't necessarily mean that this property has to be treated the same way, but you have to look at each property individually.
Just wanted to keep this one up.
Anything else?
No.
Do you want to add anything, Dean? Address the board? We would ask that you just step up to the podium just because it's being recorded.
Just please state your name and address for records.
I need to sign? No? Hi, I'm Dean Sinclair. My wife Sally and I own the 636 property and 636 Holly Road. Just thankful to Danielle and the team for helping me get to this point. This is our, I don't want to say summer home because we use it year round, but we love our home. We bought it 4 years ago. We're using it more and more. Our family is growing with grandkids. I have 4 adult children. I have my 28-year-old is up here this weekend with 2 other couples, and in 2 weeks, my 26-year-old is up here with a few couples. We have some folks our weekends are full with the use of this, and we use it a lot. And just thankful. Our neighbors are great, becoming good friends with both Dan and Larry, and they've been very supportive. And I walked them completely through the plans of what you're seeing here, and they had absolutely no problem. It's going to remain one level, so we're not going 2 levels. So the sight lines will be very much the same. Obviously, because we're not doing anything in the front, nothing's going to be obscured, or no structure is going to obscure anything along the lake shore. So yeah, it will. We're going to do it right. We have a couple of builders here in town that we're working with, and the engineering team have has been great and made some really nice improvements from my original plan, and I'm thankful for that. And so we're gonna do it right. The landscaping will be beautiful. You can even see there that Bonnie, we have two beautiful trees. I don't know if you can show them the front picture with the fence. If you can click to that, Danielle, but the front elevation you can see here, folks. So that's a beautiful just fence. I just painted it last year too. But we have those two trees. It's a maple and a cranberry tree there, and we want to try to make the drive go around that to just keep that aesthetic. And we'll just landscape accordingly. And we want to add value to the home. It'll be our retirement home probably in 2 years or so. And so, thank you for your time.
Any questions for him?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
It shows that your garage is 29 by 25.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you, like, just rotate it a little bit so you wouldn't have to request such a big variance?
I believe the reason is, let me take a. Okay, so one of the thinking is behind there, so where the current garage is, right? Behind the garage is a storage room and a work room, and we call it the boat room because that's where we just keep all the boat stuff. And so we're going to lose that because we're going to convert that, and then we have a beautiful sun porch, and we're going to take that, that's going to be extended to the back. So I lose all of that storage space. And so the idea was then I'm going to move that. So like as you pull the cars in, the workbench and storage space will be like in front of the cars there. That was the thinking.
It'll be the 29-foot long side?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question. I didn't know why that side wasn't against the house. So you're saying
Or if you put,
just flip it.
Yeah. And then have that on the edge or whatever.
cover some,
Well, this, let's see, I'm sorry, I can't remember this. Am I coming out 25? Yes? Mm-hmm. So I'm
Yeah.
coming out 25.
Yeah,
No, you're coming
your
out
site
29.
plan says you're coming out 29. I
Okay,
didn't
I'm
know.
sorry, so I'm 29 out,
Yeah,
right, and 25.
across.
Right.
I didn't
Okay, so
know.
I misspoke. So that extra, so if you put two cars here,
Mm-hmm.
then we would have like a elevated like step in the garage, and all the storage space would be in this corner here. So this would be the workbench and extra cubbies. That was the thinking.
Okay.
And I think one of the reasons as well is that if I went 29 long, I think I would be too close to my neighbor's property.
and if you went the other way in the house, you'd probably covering windows up.
I'm sorry, sir?
Well, if you push it more to the center of the house.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is if there was
Correct,
problems.
Correct. That's a reason why you see a little bit of an overhang there. We have and if you look at the interior decorators, we have a bathroom already there that we're going to expand, and there's a bathroom window that we did not want to cover that bathroom window.
Okay.
So you figured the 25, and feel free to correct me if I'm
Oh,
wrong.
yeah, yeah.
But my thinking is the garage is currently that 25. If he was to go 29, then you're cutting further into the house
Into
with
the
the
house.
window. Yeah.
Correct.
And then
Yeah.
ideally too, if he wanted to keep in line with like the way that the garage door is and have that extra 4 feet go to the neighbor, he would not meet the side setback.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did our best thinking around, how could I get the biggest garage possible, get that storage space back without impeding into the allowed variance on my neighbor's property.
And also, I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, Dean, but a lot of the problem too is with like parking on the street, having it oriented to where you're able to create that circle drive to allow
Correct.
for parking. And
Yeah.
then two, the way that it's positioned, it makes it so when you are driving by, It's just like a part of the house versus seeing if the garage doors were open and seeing into the garage.
Yeah, there's
a
another
little bit more
aesthetic. That's why we would like to have it, the garage doors north facing.
But it's so long just because you want more storage.
Yes, ma'am.
Not because it's necessary for parking.
Right. I mean, the current garage only holds one car, because built in 1972, and yeah, so it was just, yeah, one car, so yeah.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
That's our turn. Discussion, motion? I can't make a motion, so somebody's gotta do it.
So, I don't have a question, so we're at the point of moving to accept the,
Yeah.
deviation?
Yep, time to get a motion if you.
All right,
if you
well,
want.
I move we accept Mr. Sinclair's, proposal.
I'll second it.
All right, and just for clarification, the board is authorizing the construction of a 29 by 25 feet addition to the existing garage attached to the dwelling at 636 Holly Road. Per the applicant's site plan, or should we maybe change to the updated site plan that engineering has worked with? So that would be this one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Danielle,
Yeah, Mallory.
can I just interrupt?
Yeah.
Before the board kind of, makes its final motion, they do need to make findings on the record of each standard in the zoning ordinance that is required. So I know you kind of outlined those in your staff report and made your findings. They could either adopt those findings, make their own findings, whatever the board feels is proper for them. And then one thing I'll just add is I didn't see in the staff report a finding related to the practical difficulty requirements, so they would need to make a finding on that as well.
Do we accept the,
Well, I guess maybe to clarify, so on the attachments, there's a drawing D 1.1 towards the end. In fact, it's in there twice. I don't think there's a difference between the two.
So you're referring to the application, yes.
This is towards the end. There's a drawing, D 1.1, right?
Correct. So that was submitted in the application. Like I had stated, the applicant and I worked with the engineering department to
Okay.
draft this
And is
site
that-
plan recently, just because on the site plan noted there, not that the zoning board of appeals has any authority to truly act on the width of the driveway.
So-
You're only acting on the addition part.
The updated site plan is in here somewhere?
no,
It's right.
Oh, it's not,
No.
okay.
there's the new update right there.
And like I said,
Okay,
it
I'm
doesn't
sorry.
change the location of the garage.
was-
The only thing is we just added clarification to the driveway comment.
Okay, because I was looking at two and I
That's the
wasn't,
new, that's the new one.
that's the new one, okay.
And sir, the one that you were referring to was just like, we've been working with interior designer. She doesn't do site plans or anything. That was just an initial drawing that I
Okay.
submitted to Danielle. It wasn't even really to scale as I was working with her, just to show her at high level what we were doing as before
Okay.
we moved into a full
That's
site
what
plan.
it'll look like when it's done.
Right. Yeah, thought that was kind of a weird looking driveway.
Yeah, that's not the scale.
Okay.
If you can just go off that the
Okay.
engineering firm approved, that would be ideal. Yeah.
And the site plan that the applicant provided was nice to kind of see, like, if the existing garage is being turned into dwelling space, he's not asking for double
Right.
garages.
So a copy of this will be included in the minutes, so it's
Correct.
absolutely clear what version of it we're talking about.
Absolutely,
Okay.
Steve.
Okay.
Next thing is, what term am I looking for?
The findings. So
Findings.
the ordinance that you have to
Yeah,
cite
the
for.
ordinance finding, do we approve them as they're written, or do we want,
Well, there's one that's missing, the attorney said.
So I would say, and this is just staff, is when you're looking at the least amount of impact to the neighborhood, like I had said, the applicant has the right to basically detach his proposed addition and locate it 3 feet from the property line and 10 feet from the home. That doesn't necessarily fit in with the way that the neighborhood is. So attaching it is going to fit in with the neighborhood, and we feel that has the least amount of impact to the neighborhood.
But what is the standard that's missing?
No, they're all there.
So it's not really one of the standard. It's kind of like the first step, but in order to get a dimensional variance, you have to determine that the property, because of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, the shape of the specific property, that creates conditions where the strict application of the zoning ordinance would create practical difficulties. And that's under your zoning ordinance 46-69B2. And so that's essentially step one in the variance process. And if you find that there is that creation of practical difficulties, then the actual, I guess, proposed variance goes through those other standards. I think, what are they, like the light, impact on the neighbors, those types of things.
The difficulty is it's a lakefront property.
Right.
There's no straight lines and
Right, so you
and
could,
the shoreline.
putting this addition on the back side of the house could be done by meeting setbacks, but would impede on the neighboring views of the lake, and we would like to keep the lake shore, the setback, consistent with the neighborhood.
I mean, that's the big one, is no straight lines and
Mm-hmm.
and the road's following the shoreline, so it's a lot in and outs. Is that a good enough difficulty?
Yeah, I mean, it's, a finding of fact for you to make. Just want to make sure that we are making those findings on the record.
So what do we need to do? I'm a little unclear about this. I'm also having a really hard time hearing, there's kind of muffled audio.
Just stating that, did that put it in the records?
Correct, yes.
Okay, then we're covered on that.
Mallory, do you need him to repeat his motion?
As long as you are kind of adopting the findings or making findings, then you don't need to.
Motion could be based on staff findings.
Yep.
And the proposal would be to authorize this addition.
Yep, that's good.
And I think we're not gonna do it per the applicant's site plan, we're gonna do it per
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
So that needs to be somehow modified. It
Right, so that would just be you verbally saying that motion.
should be clear that it's
Yes.
the one you showed, not the one that's in here.
I think we all should include the fact, the fence, get rid of the fence.
You want, so that would have to
Put it
be
in there.
included in the motion. So Steve,
Yeah.
why don't you go ahead and start from the beginning so we're all clear?
Okay, I can't do a motion.
No, I'm still not quite sure how to state it, but I guess I believe that given the existing site and the neighborhood and the difficulties presented with the site he has, I would move that we accept the plan as shown in the presentation, not the one in the packet.
So, yeah, but also put it in fact that
With
get rid of the fence.
With the condition that the fence be removed?
Yeah, that just covers our behind.
Okay?
Do we have support for that motion?
I will support that.
Okay. Alt. Hutchinson.
No.
Brown.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes,
Bontrager.
Yes.
Okay, that motion fails due to the fact that 4 members have to vote yes out of the 5-member board.
Okay.
Mallory, is it?
Can we have a discussion ourselves here? I'm trying to, I'd just like to know what the concern is.
I think the garage could be built smaller, so there's not quite a big enough variance needed. I don't think it needs to be that big.
That far towards the street, you're saying?
Correct.
Mallory,
That's
is
what
it-
my concern is.
Is it appropriate to ask for board member feedback should the applicant wish to submit again with a modified site plan?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
And that's why I asked that question, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah, that's
There's something
that's
you
my
wanted
only
to do.
concern
Yeah,
is that
so
I
let's go ahead and take, now that this part is done, let's go ahead and look at this site plan. And maybe kind of explain what you think might be, an appropriate setback.
if I knew what more, like what the neighborhood average is, like overall, I could give that number. If I'm just going by the least is 11 feet and the greatest is 35 feet, then it would be 23 feet. So if I had more information, I could,
Yeah, so typically when we're looking at variances, we look at the two properties directly adjoining and then across the street. Unfortunately, across the street from here is White Pine Trail. So there wasn't any neighboring properties. And like I had explained, I chose the 616 to kind of be an example due to the fact that this proposed layout and
Is very
616
similar.
is very similar.
Yep.
There was no real, I wasn't kind of picking and choosing per se.
No, I'm not saying you were. You just asked me for what variance would
Oh,
be
absolutely.
acceptable to me, and like taking the average, I think the average was 23 feet. And unless I knew more, like went down through there, and well, the average is actually 20 feet or something.
And I would also like to remind the board as a whole, this is an open communication. So the staff report comes out, the application comes out. We always welcome one-on-one conversation prior to the meeting, even discussion prior to a motion taking place. Not saying that all motions have to pass per se, but if there's ever any questions that board members have, staff is always welcome to answer those before the meeting or during the meeting.
So in order to make it in conformance, instead of being 29 feet, it would be 3 feet, something less than that, and then there would be complete conformance. Am I
So,
understanding that right?
so technically, from the property line to the home has to be 35 feet.
Right, and right now with what he's got drawn, according to this, is 31.72,
That is to the road.
and that's what we're talking about? Oh,
Nope, setbacks are from the property line.
okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
But like I had mentioned before, kind of I don't want to say rule of thumb, but the average in the neighborhood is from the home to the street line is roughly 40 feet. Given the different variations in sizes of lots and how they're skewed, some of them are on angles more. Obviously, the lake isn't a straight line.
Right.
So I would say that the average setback from the home to the street is 40. This is coming in just a little bit shallower with 35 from the house to the street.
Well, 31 from the proposed addition, right? From that to the street?
Yeah, and I would, obviously, there isn't a survey provided. So when the applicant was drawing, he used the county GIS measuring tool. I always like to say that there's a variation in about 3 feet when you're using that. Obviously, the aerials are skewed
Right.
depending on where you put your pencil on that. If there was a true survey on file, I would believe that it'd be more of the 35
Okay.
foot number. Yes.
Anything else?
I'd just like to ask a question. So, okay, so I've never done this before, so I'm new to the whole procedure. So I'm assuming that your concern is, so you would like it to be 27 by 25 to cover that?
No. I would like the setback to be closer to the 20 feet if that's what the average setback is from that to the line.
So from you're asking that from the property line to the structure would be 20 feet rather than the, proposed.
Yeah,
roughly
whatever
14.
whatever the average, I think it was like 23 something was like the lowest to the highest, but like before I actually give you a number, I would want to find out kind of what I drove by, but I don't have anything as far as measuring to guess what that is.
You mean measuring the other properties that
Yeah.
have circular drive?
Yep.
I think there's approximately 12 to 13 on the whole street.
Mm-hmm.
I'll guarantee you, when you look at Dan Miner's home, it's less.
Yeah, there was one in there that I think was 11.
Yeah.
Was that the one that you said was 11?
I'm guessing here again, right, I'm guessing Dan's is between 10 and 11.
Yeah.
If you look at the edge of the garage, Ms. Hutchinson, it aligns with, and it's actually about a foot or two behind even where Dan Miner's porch is.
So if you're looking at this aerial, the
Yeah.
his proposed line, he's saying is in line with this.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Or possibly.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And, yeah, I mean, there's many other, I believe, circular drives there that the setback is less than what I'm asking for.
There are also some non-circular drives which are closer than that too,
Yes.
in the neighborhood.
This is true, sir. This is true. So like I said, I think what we're asking for, there's already at least a half a dozen homes that are there or even less. And so I guess that's where I'm asking, so what would you like us to do to, I mean, obviously, right, I need another vote and to get this approved, and I don't know what next steps would be.
Just to be closer to like the 23 foot setback.
And you want that because you want to know, just.
I want that because we've got ordinances that says, I mean, it's supposed to be 35.
Right.
And you're asking it to be cut down 21 feet to 14.
Right.
If we let everybody build willy-nilly, we'd all look like Lake Mitchell. And they would be just like right next to the road, and because everybody wants more storage for their boats, their RVs, their toys.
Sure.
And that's kind of where, you have to look and see, is there an actual practical difficulty where, or is it just, I really want a lot of space?
I mean, I was transparent with you that, that was the reason for the size.
No, I get that, yeah.
Because we can't build a basement. And we really.
Well, and you wouldn't park in a basement
Right,
either.
And we don't, and we really didn't wanna build up, just for a number of reasons. Not only cost, but just sight lines and the like.
Sure.
So, just so that I'm understanding, so from where you sit right now, you would propose that the garage would be, what is it, 25 by what?
Let me look at your, I just had it up here. Yeah, the 25 foot across is not the problem.
Correct.
It's the 29 that is the problem.
What would the length, if we're calling that the length right now, if the width is 25, the length you would need to be what?
I would probably approve if it was 20, like 20 by 25.
Standard, that would not be a two-car garage, though.
A 2-car garage is 20 by 20. More roomy is 22 by 22.
Yeah, try stuff with 2 cars and something like that.
I have.
Well, owning a truck and an SUV, I mean, that would
Right.
barely get
Stuff
cars
like
in,
truck
and
and
there would be
SUV.
no additional storage unless I went up. Yeah.
And keep in mind, the applicant has the right to, by ordinance, detach the structure and locate it 3 feet from the property line and 10 feet from.
Right, no, I
So
completely.
he could choose to do that.
I don't want to
Right,
do
I
that.
can completely, I understand that,
I
that's,
don't think you folks want me doing that.
no,
Right.
But
I
by
mean,
ordinance, you would have the
right,
authority to
yeah,
do
and
so.
we don't wanna do that, we want it attached to the home.
but it's just like when you look at a lot of the houses around Lake Cadillac, they're spacious front yards, spacious backyards, and they're fairly spacious compared to like if you go to Lake Mitchell or even other towns. And I don't like to see that, because once you start encroaching, then everybody does it, and then pretty soon, like I said, you're just like Lake Mitchell. Your garage is 3 feet from the road, and it.
But this isn't 3 feet from the road.
No, I understand that, but once you start whatever anybody wants, because they might build that building on the corner of the line, so we're going to give it to them. Once you start doing that, then Why even have an ordinance at all?
No, you look at each house individually,
Right,
and his fits the variance, great. Now, if the neighbor came up, wanted something just equal to it, I'd tell him no, cause it wouldn't fit it. You look at each individual one.
right, and that's what I'm doing.
And that-
you know-
This one fits his property.
Dean, do you feel comfortable with the feedback that you've received that, or are there any other questions that you would like to ask the board?
No, just understanding what next steps are.
And we can, as staff, we can
Okay,
check
we
with
can
you
talk
with
about
that.
Okay,
Yep,
great. All right.
okay.
Well, I
Mr. Chair?
appreciate your time and-
Nick, are you ready to move on to the next
Yeah,
agenda
now
item?
see here, I guess,
We'd be at old business.
old business, old business, I can't remember that.
You're good, you're good.
Yep, you're all set. Just,
Okay,
she'll call you tomorrow.
Thank you for your time. Yeah.
Thank you.
since we had no old business, any board member comments? Public comments, I don't see anybody out there. Adjourn.
Do you have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right.
Larry, you want
Yeah.
to adjourn?
Oh, I second it.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor?
I
All right.